Perfect. I think now we're definitely live. Can someone just maybe send something on chat to just confirm if you all can hear us, see us? Okay, that's interesting. But I think we're live. So I'll just very quickly start off. I'll give a very quick background on TPF. We're a volunteer driven community with a bunch of PMs, PM enthusiasts whose mission is actually to help people get better at solving product problems, actually becoming better product managers. And we do a bunch of different things. We have Insurgo, we have the Teardowns, which this is, and we have a bunch of cohort-based courses as well that help you get better at becoming a product manager. And we cater to students, we cater to people who are entering product, people who are in mid-level careers, and also senior level product managers. And today we're actually at this month's product teardown with OneCode. And the teardown is effectively an initiative where participants get case studies, and these case studies are problems that PMs and founders are solving day in and day out, and they actually get to present their solutions to them and get a chance to get input on how they've actually performed and how they can actually get better at solving those problems. And we have with us Manish, Lokesh, Archit, and Abhilash from OneCode today. So I will just hand it over to them to maybe just give a quick intro about themselves, tell us a little bit more about OneCode, and also about the problem statement that we're going to be discussing today, what they're expecting from the candidates in terms of answers, and then we can start off with the presentations. So over to you guys.
Thanks, Ritvik. Not sure if looks like Manish just dropped. It's okay. I'll quickly introduce, OneCode and also Archit, Abhilash, and me. Maybe by the time Manish will join. So, guys, I'm Lokesh, CTO at OneCode. Before OneCode, I was in Facebook 3.5 years. Before that, I was in Amazon for 7 years. I'm really excited to be here. Looking forward to a lot of learning. Different views and see what people have to say about the products that we are building. I'm pretty sure it's going to be exciting session. About OneCode, I'm not sure how many of you have read about OneCode. So we are basically Misho for finance. We are building the largest network of agents to that can connect all these finance fintech products to consumers, filling in the deficit that the end user lacks, like tier 2 tier 3 cities. A lot of users, they don't have understanding of what products are available, what could be a good fit for them. They don't have access, so trying to solve all those problems, trying to reach untapped bharat of 500 million users. So yeah, that's a quick introduction about OneCode. We have Manish joining back. Manish, do you want to quickly introduce yourself next?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Sorry, for some reason my internet stopped working the moment it started. But yeah, excited to be here with you folks to brainstorm on some of the key problems that we are facing. I am Manish, and I am the co-founder and CEO of OneCode. I think Lokesh have already introduced what we do. So yeah, excited to be here and look forward to this session.
Cool. So I'm Abhilash. I work as a product manager in OneCode, basically looking over the growth and agent experience. As Lokesh has already mentioned, we have a big task of reaching the next 500 million end users. For that, we need to build a highly trained, efficient, skilled agents on fleet, and they come with their own set of problems of understanding the right product for right user. So whatever goes in between, that is what currently GrowthPod is taking over. Prior to this, I was leading discovery in ShareChat. Yeah, that's about it. I think I'll hand over to Archit.
Hey, thanks, Abhilash. Hi everyone. My name is Archit. I'm an associate product manager at OneCode. I started as a chartered accountant, and I have a couple of years of experience working with financial services companies. Here at OneCode, I'm about to complete 1 year as of now, and I'm looking after all the product touchpoints that relate to selling credit cards. So that's the brief about me. Over to you, Manish, to touch upon the problem, and maybe we can get this started then.
Yeah, I think so. Problems, I think we have already shared, and these are the problems that we are also, figuring out the right solutions for it, right? So, for to some extent, we have solved it, but the best is yet to come, and therefore we wanted to, open it to a larger and brighter minds to sort of help us and also brainstorm on some of these critical aspects, right? And one interesting part is the problems here, which I personally feel are not just one code specific, right? Any model or any channel where you have to tackle trust deficit customer, some of these learnings and findings would be very, very crucial. And trust is a very, very core element which is missing, right? Therefore, you will see like all the existing channels are now moving to a different set of channels, right? Like all these D2C players are opening their offline stores. People are again moving to, establishing their call centers and stuff. So that problem is not being solved properly through the existing distribution channels. And whatever you do next, these learnings will be very, very important. So it is a win-win for everyone here. We all are here to learn a lot of new things today. So
Manish
yeah, we
is
can open it up now.
facing issue, I guess.
Got it. Perfect. No, thanks a lot. Super interesting, and I think everyone's super excited to also learn more about this. And like Manish mentioned, I think it's also not only a company-specific problem, but I think a larger problem that needs to be solved. So I think we'll start off in terms of the rules very quickly. We'll be giving 7 minutes for a presentation and doing 5 minutes of Q&A from the panelists. And Nitesh, if you can maybe just spin the ticker and see what the order is going to come out. Hey, can you all hear me? Yep. Sorry, just give us. Sorry, who did it come out to be?
Rachit, can you raise your hand?
Cool. Rachit, can you maybe just say something to see if we can hear you? And
Hello, Rachit.
hey, Rachit, we can hear you, but your voice is a bit feeble.
Hello.
Yes, much better. Yeah.
Yes. So where is the option to present? Actually, it's new platform for me.
There's one next to the mic and the video button.
Just give me a moment. Just a second. Also, there is some network issue. Should our turn be next? I mean, is it possible?
Sure, sure. We'll probably get someone else to go ahead.
Yeah. Till then, I'll just get comfortable with the platform. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Can we just quickly spin it again? Uh, I think Nitish has dropped. Got it. Is Nupur here? Can you raise your hand so we can get you on stage?
Bri,
Hey, Amir. Can you hear us?
Ameya, can you hear
yeah, I
us?
can hear you. Then,
Perfect.
hello, am I
Yes.
audible?
Cool. You can
Yeah, no,
share your screen and maybe we can get started.
yeah, Nupur is just joining. I'm just waiting for her to. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. Should I start then? If it's fine.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, good afternoon, everyone. May and Nupur this side. Firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity. And yeah, let's just get started. So, OneCode is basically trying to build a complete solution for financial advisors to manage and grow their sales and earning by leveraging the power of technology and network. With its direct competitors like Gromo, Banksati, and Rocketsync. So the goal for the case study were to improve the user journey for the first-time credit card sellers and increase the lead conversions. The success metric for the case study are mentioned here, but the important question to ask here is why is the folk conclusion that credit card is a high-value product? The selling credit card will lead to a good commission for agents as well as a good margin and revenue for OneCode. So now that we have got a brief overview, we might move to understanding the user personas. So we have created these personas with the help of the data from the Slack AMA. Coming to the first persona, so the first persona is Samir Gupta. He's a third-year student. He uses the app in his free time to refer various services to his network. Being a student and not being completely well versed with credit card space, he sometimes feels frustrated when he does not have an answer to the customer problems. Coming to the next persona, Omkar Thakur is an insurance agents who is well versed with the finance space and uses OneCode app to refer various services to his customers. But not being, not being very tech savvy, he he often he often gets frustrated when his customers undergo some technical difficulties while filling the application form maybe, and when they look up to him for the solutions. And his goal is to earn an extra income to support his family through the OneCode app. The third person is our customer of the app, Pankaj Sharma. He is 32 and just wants to have a of credit card with extra offers with which he could get with minimum hassle. So now that we have understood the personas, we might look how these personas actually go through this credit card journey. So when we looked at this journey, it seemed like quite a long one, but we broke it out into some stages, namely the pre-referral stage, the post-referral stage, and the post-approval stage. The first three step, as we could see, the selecting credit card, reading details, and watching the training video, as well as sharing the link of the referral, comes under the pre-referral part. The post-referral is something which starts after the referral when the customer starts the credit booking and waits for the credit card approval stage. So this to come under the post-referral stage, and the last one is the payout stage, which is part of the post-approval journey. So from our observation, not seem to be a problem with respect to our goals. So, so if we focus on the pre-referral journey, if there would have been a problem with respect to our goals, if there would have been a problem with respect to our referrals, but we could see that the number of number of referrals are already high, as it was mentioned in the problem statement. So we can kind of assume that there might not be a huge problem in the pre-referral journey. Secondly, this pre-referral journey is almost more or less common across all the categories, be it cryptocurrency or any DMAT category. So the users might be also well versed with the pre-referral journey itself. So changes to making changes to it might must may come more harm than good. Secondly, coming to the post-approval journey, so making changes into any post-approval journey won't have much effect on the goal and primary metrics which were mentioned in the problem statement. So that's why uh, we kind of did not focus on that. But coming to the post-referral journey, uh, the post-referral journey. Oops. So based on user journey and user reviews and some user feedback which we could get, we found that post-referral journey seemed to be the biggest problem, mainly because we could find some gaps in this journey which could not be addressed. Just for example, uh, some problem like when user faces that whenever customer uses a link into the credit and starts his credit booking journey, uh, if he or she if the customer faces some problem, they might ask it to the users. But as we know that some of the users, like if majority of the users are not very well aware of the technicalities of the credit card booking process. So they are not able to handle those queries quite nicely, and we could observe the various other pain points as well in this journey. So this is something which we made a note of, that post referral journey might be something which we should focus on. And as we're now focused on the one part of the problem statement, which is the user journey, we'll now come on to the second part, which is the conversions. So first of all, what is conversion? So we have defined conversions and the number of cards approved uh, based on divided by the total number of uh, shared links of the card. So firstly, why is conversion important? So if you look at this, the primary success metric of credit card category would be to increase the number of credit cards sold. It depends on two things: increase in credit card referrals or increase in conversion rate. So the credit card referrals are already quite huge in number, as it was mentioned in the problem statement, but the conversion rate is quite low. So that's why we need to focus on that. And now, how to increase conversion? So basically, we'll have to understand what on what factors does conversion depend. So conversion depends on three factors as of now. First of all,
Amaya, to let you know, we have crossed 6 minutes.
all right, I'll just wrap up in this. Something.
Yeah.
The time limit is 10 to 15 minutes, right? If I'm not.
You continue.
All right.
Wrap
Thank
up
you.
as much.
Thank you. So the conversion rate depends on three factors: increase if increase in the number of customer who start the journey, like they tap on the referral and start the booking journey. Secondly, the number of customers which complete the booking process, and thirdly, out of the people who complete the booking process, how many of them are getting approved. So the third one is also defined as fulfillment ratio according to Slack AMA. So, based on the data which we got from Slack AMA, the first one is not a problem. That is, 40 to 60% of the customers start their journey. But the second and third factor, which is completing the journey and getting approval after completing the journey, are a bit of a problem, as observed from the data from Slack AMA. And interestingly, we found out that these two factors are kind of related to the post referral journey, as they are very much a part of the post referral journey. So based on what we understood, that if we improve the post-referral user journey in an efficient manner, it could lead to an increase in conversions automatically if we pick up the right solutions. So after understanding the user journey and looking into the conversions, we listed down few problems and pain points and decided their importance based on the impact. So the first one is unaware, like the user is unaware of the customer's progress and their journey status. Solving this problem would empower user by as he could now give right nudges to the customer at the right time, and because of which the more number of customers would be able to complete the booking process. I feel the second and third problem statement are kind of tied together, which is customers not getting enough help during the credit card booking stage because the sales agents are not uh, not very technically sound to help them enough. So solving these two problems will definitely increase the progress of the customers and would finally lead to increase in the customers completing the booking process. The last one is, like, after going through a long application process, it is quite likely that the customers which have filled the application form might get rejected. So this is one of the another pain point which we could find. So the user impact of solving this problem is that it will save a lot of time of user as well as the customer, and the business impact would be to increase it would increase the fulfillment ratio. Now to address the pain points, so um, for the customer track, so as there is no progress tracking for customer, we could add a section add a section in the app which could display the progress of each of the customers of the user, so that he could nudge the customers at the right time. And for the second and thirds, we could that is agents that is users not getting enough help from agents. What we could do is we could uh, either either we could set up a dedicated team for user support which will prioritize user queries over other any other queries and help them to support the customers, or else we could integrate a chatbot in our system. So we know that the chatbot might replace the sales agents up to an extent, and it is dev demanding. But what we feel is that it might lead to a huge improvement in the customer satisfaction, and it's a very efficient solution. So we went ahead with chatbot solution. And the third one is like the credit cards getting rejected. So as of now, what's the process is that the customer fills a complete application form, and then he gets to know whether he is eligible or not. But what we can do is we can take some basic data from the some very few but basic data from the customer before the application filling itself, and based on that we could either give this to financial.
Amaya, I request you to wrap up.
All right. We could either tell the financial experts to evaluate the profile, or we could go with the AI-based eligibility checker. When we went ahead with AI-based eligibility checker, because it gives the result instantly, and we know that if we reduce the time taken in each task, it would definitely increase the chances of customers completing the process. Now I will hand over the mic to Nupur to continue with the solutions.
I think we're also out of time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we can just move to Q&A, I think.
Oh, or maybe I could just present one
No, I don't
present.
think it's fair to the other participants also, because it's a 7-minute timeline. So I don't think we will let you do it.
Okay, all right.
Cool. Manish, Lokesh, Archit, Ablash, you all can maybe ask questions.
So one question. So there was a mention of AI eligibility. Just you mind elaborating more on that?
Ameya, can you raise your hand?
Should I present my screen to tell the to answer your question?
I think you can just briefly talk about this. This should be
Okay,
fine.
all right, all right. So what we can do is we could take some basic details of the users like maybe income, age, and credit score, and based on that we could make an algorithm like if this guy has this, we can make some brackets. If this range falls between this, if the credit card, we could there's a higher possibility that this person might be eligible. So that's why in the app also we won't directly tell yes or no. We would say confidence percentage, like there are 80% chances that you might get through this eligibility.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also, fair point on the eligibility ratio and all. I think that's uh, helpful. Uh, One thing, like the pain points identified are like bang on, right? Like the progress we need to give and the AI chat support. Did you speak to actual like users, Amaya? Like how? I'm just curious. How did you like
Right.
get the insights?
Right. So what I tried firstly reaching out to actual users through LinkedIn, but I did not get any good response. So what I did was I scrolled through every review possible on the Play Store and find out few pain points over there.
Yeah, nice.
Just one more question. Have you used our app, or did you go through our app before preparing
Yeah,
this?
yeah, I
If
go
you're,
through a couple.
you're like a lot of things that you mentioned, we are already doing, like the chat bot, the recommendations, you know, communication. Also, very good point. With something that we are already doing. Might not be very obvious from app. We might need
Yeah.
to make it more visible, but most of things are already there.
Oh, all right. Actually, I would have to give my account number, and so I was not able to make an account as a seller. Maybe that's why I was not able to explore that side very much. But I tried to as much as possible from videos and user reviews.
Yeah. And generally, we have chat option on every page, Abhilash, right? If I'm not wrong, but that's something that we might double check.
Yeah. We not as of now. Matlab, we have a direct customer support, so
Fresh chat. But anyway, yeah, we can follow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we move ahead with the next contestants?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much. Really means.
Yeah. Thank you, Ameya.
Thank you, Mia.
So I think Rachit mentioned that he's available now. His network's fine. Rachit, if you can raise your hand and we can start off.
Gauri and team, can you raise your hand? Gauri, don't you have your teammate? Also, Gauri, I request you to switch on your mic and also cams.
Okay. I'm not able to share my screen. It's showing only one person can share the screen. I'm not able to share the screen because it is showing. Now it is showing.
Okay, can we start? Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
you are.
Why don't you start? Yeah. We'll give you a heads up at 6 minutes.
Yeah, sure, that works. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Bhavisha Jain and she is Gauri Bhavani, and we are very excited to present our ideas on the product team to the product team of OneCode. OneCode is a platform that enables its user to earn money by selling financial products to different customers in their network with zero investment. And the top competitor of OneCode are Bank Sathi and Gromo. And our main target audience is people in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. How OneCode works. So basically, OneCode is working by bridging the gap between different brands that is offering different financial products. The agents, those who are the financial advisors or people, those who are involved in the financial sales work, and the customers, those who are in the different cities, different tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So the main USP which we identified by comparing it with different competitors is one code provides a cashback on recharge and bill payments also. Okay, the problem statement. So our problem statement was to design a journey of a user or a layout or interface for which for a new user who want to sell a credit card who has never sold a credit card. So basically, this would be done by like converting the leads, increasing the lead conversion, and also by making the recharge funnel people to go to credit card purchase. So and the target customer for this is also the tier 2, tier 3 cities people, those who are directly or indirectly involved in the financial products.
So basically, the approach we have used here is, so firstly we try to look at what is the current credit card selling journey, like how does the sales agent approaches the customer, what is the current journey. Then we try to identify the pain points at each step for both the customers and the sales agent. And after that we created personas and proposed four solutions, and then then prioritized them and identified some of the success metrics for them. So basically, the user journey which we mapped out, we divided it into 5 steps. So the first step is the sales agent logs in on the app and he goes into the categories to find the credit cards, and after that he shares the link, that link through which the customers can get themselves verified. And after that, after the customer is verified, then he need to go through all this process, fill details, upload documents and video KYC to complete the credit card application. And when the application is approved, the sales agent gets his payment.
Okay, so by talking to different user, by conducting different user interviews, by directly reaching out to sales agent, those who are like really working on a bank to sell credit cards and all, we figure out different pain points with them. Like they feel that it's very tough process to sell credit card. The trust, building trust is very important with the customer, and all those pain points we identified. Whatever questions we had in our mind, we identified, and like by talking to different people. Through this, we also made some user personas depending on like what are our target audience and like those are, who are the stakeholders involved. We felt that one of the user persona is of sales agent, those who want to earn lot of profit by sharing or by selling more products, or more financial products. And the second one is the customer who want to get some good recommended financial product that would enable him to buy now the product and pay for it for later. So this is the persona we identified.
So after all these user interviews and creating personas, so basically what I think is that these points can be categorized on the pre-application process and during the application process of credit card. So during the pre-application, the sales agents, the problems he faces is that the customers are not getting verified. They don't want to share their details, and customers are not able to build trust on the platform. That is it. Suitable or not, and during the application the sales agent is actually not able to identify why the customers are dropping at each funnel step, and sometimes there is a delay in tracking updates, and for the customer, he actually is very lazy to go through all those lengthy process, and many times he is stuck also at some point. So the first solution which we propose is comparing products. So what this solution does is, when the sales agent lands on the credit card page, he actually can select any of the two credit cards and can compare it in a tabular form, just like we see on various websites. They compare products on the basis of the features. So this can be shared directly with the customer also. So this would actually help sales agent to convey the information more clearly to the customer, rather than confusing him by sending videos and documents with too much information which he would never read. The second solution is based on that we want to target the customers in the recharge and the bill segment also. So basically, right now we can't. There is no option to see the customer list of bills and payments. So I have added. We have added a button here to view the customers, and from here we can select the customers whom we want to target for the financial products also. So after, so from here we can.
Gauri, you have
Yeah,
crossed 6 minutes.
yeah, we will just wind up.
Yeah.
So from here we can send a message to the customer through which he can get himself verified for the financial products also.
Okay, coming to the third feature, which is a community feature. So community feature is a community tab inside any particular credit card where agent can ask whatever queries they have from the customer, and they can also answer those queries. So the top queries with top upvotes would be listed higher, so that people having different agents have different similar queries can get their answers quickly. The aim of the we aim to like smoothen the process of application process of credit card, and this will also increase in the conversion of leads. And the fourth and the final feature which we propose is the reward system. So basically, reward system is we find out from different user that they don't have any motivation to do bill payment or recharge from one code agents, because they are not getting anything. They can just go to PhonePe and Paytm and do that. So we figured out ki if they are getting some rewards or something, so they could be like they could be retained for future purchase of credit card or any financial products like loans and all. So basically, by this feature, we will enable people from recharge funnel to convert to the credit card funnel.
So
Bhavisha, can
basically,
you wrap up?
yeah, just half a minute.
Yeah.
So we have used RISE framework to prioritize these solutions. So and we have mentioned reason for each of the values that we have output for these parameters. So the solutions which we prioritize are the customers from the recharge funnel and the community tab, the Q&A for each separately for each credit card. These are some of the success metrics that we thought of, like for comparing products. We need to look for metrics through which we can identify is the user more confused or not. For recharge customer, we can check how many leads are converted from this segment. For community feature, we can check the increase in the conversion ratio, and for the reward system, we can check the increase in the bill payment category. Thank you so much for patiently listening to us, and we are now open to questions, and we would love to get some feedback from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Gauri and Bhavishya. Good presentation. One of the questions that I have is, so you were touching upon the pre-application problems, and one of the problems that you identified was like users are not able to understand the credit card offerings that they have in the app, right? So if you refer to the problem statement, we mentioned that the top of the funnel is not a problem, right? We are getting enough leads into the system. So what made you conclude that they are not able to find the right product to refer to their customer?
uh, Not the right product. I'm just saying that when the customer is asked about his PAN card details, so many times they don't consider it trustable. Like when I downloaded Jupyter, so and I dropped at the stage where they asked me for the PAN card. So it sent me a notification that it is completely safe with us. Your details are completely uh, fine with us. So that kind of a solution can be added. Like it would uh, increase the lead further. Sometimes it happens due to that details also. They are not ready to share those details.
Okay, I was particularly referring to your point of first point in the pre-application slide about difficulty to comprehend information about too many available credit cards.
Yeah, this point I identified, like when we share the link for OTP verification. At that time, there are some recommendation below it. So even if we are sharing it for credit cards, it shows recommendation for other financial products also, like loans and all those. So, like right now, we are targeting credit card. So why are we confusing him with uh, more than required option? Like if he's enter into credit card funnel, so firstly he should complete that, and after that we can show that we are offering these products also, you can consider these also. So this would lead to lesser confusion.
Got it.
Abhilash, Lokesh, any other queries?
Yeah, on the rewards point, I did not like completely have some confusion on the rewards point. What were you actually referring to? Rewards to the customer or the user, and how?
uh, these rewards are for the customer. So basically, right now we have competitions for the sales season. Like you participate in these competition and complete this target, you would get this reward, that reward. But there is nothing for the customer. He is not motivated. Why he would use one code only uh, to get a credit card? So for that, we thought of giving some coins as a reward, and these coins can be redeemed for discounts on the bills and payment.
Okay, and that reward you are giving it for the recharge bills on.
No,
Yeah,
these are like
basically the reward
financial.
is, yeah, adding to the what Gauri mentioned, basically this reward is for all the purchases which uh, the customer is doing from a particular agent. Like what used to happen is ki, if I'm a customer and I want to purchase something from particular agent like recharge or bill payments, so I'll go again and again to him if I'm getting something is there which will give me more discounts, like in terms of reward for next payment.
So tying it back to the problem statement, you like the solution here is giving rewards on the sale. We can move the recharge bills to the credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
That's it. Lokesh, Abhilash, Archit. Yeah. Thank you, Gauri and Bhavishya.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys,
Thanks a
for
lot.
listening to this and giving us feedback on our presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Rachit had issues when we had to try when were trying to add him first. Uh, I will be adding Rachit next. Rachit is your teammate here.
Hello. Yeah. Can you please add Kanak Dubey also?
Kanak, can you raise your hand?
She's saying that she has already raised the hand. She has typed a message in chat box also.
Yeah, but she hasn't raised the hand. Kanak, can you try raising your hand so that I can add you?
I think her browser permission is not allowing to raise the hand. Can you please add manually Kanak Dubey? Might be in the session.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kanak is on stage. You can start.
It's, I think, she's getting the prompt of failed to join stage. Uh,
I guess she has issue with her mic and cam on the browser.
just give me a minute. Is she in this panel? I mean, the 7 members are there, but Kanak is not there.
Yeah, Kanak is not able to join.
Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Let's maybe get the next team.
Rachit, if you can go ahead without Kanak, we can go move ahead with you. Otherwise, we'll invite other panelists, other contestants. Rachit,
Can you please suggest some of the major issues, I mean, which we can tackle from her side?
We'll do it offline. Maybe let's just get the next team to do it. I'll help you figure it out.
Sure, sure.
okay. Prachi and team, can you raise your hand?
Hi everyone, can we start? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, fine. Let me start.
Prachi, just one suggestion from my side. You
Yeah,
might want to skip the part about what OneCode is and what it does so that we can conclude the entire presentation in time.
yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Pratiksha.
Sure.
Prachi, have you shared the? Okay, I can see the screen now. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Pratiksha, and my friend Prachi will take you through the product teardown of OneCode. So this is the problem statement which we have already heard many times and we are clear about. So we can skip this. Okay, I will just take you through the assumptions that we have made. There are three assumptions that we have made that 100 end customers click on the link which is provided by the OneCode agent, out of which only 50 click on the link and start the application, and ultimately only 5 get approved for the credit card. And the steps which are present between sharing the link and getting approval of the credit card cannot be traced or tracked by the OneCode. We cannot know where we are losing customers or anything because those take place on the bank website and we cannot track them. And a new user with zero idea about the app will first watch the training video. Prachi, skip this part. So we have done a competitive analysis of OneCode. We have identified Gromo and Banksati as the competitors. There are a few features which are on Gromo, which are not on OneCode, which are recorded lectures, quizzes amidst the training, and app tour for the new users. Also, all the three apps are not available on iOS, which is a drawback. Next, going to the user persona, we have identified three different users. So there is Mrs. Savi, who is 32 years old, housewife, and her goal for adopting OneCode is financial independence and supporting the family income. Another is Mr. Jetalal, who is a bank employee who is well acquainted to the domain. For him, OneCode is an additional income source. And next is Sajid, who expects his pocket money out of OneCode, and he is also here to gain knowledge about the domain, financial domain. All of them are active on different social media platforms. We have mentioned different social media platforms because it can tell it can give us an idea of what social reach they have and what kind of end customers they can target. And all of them have different strengths and they can devote different number of hours to OneCode every day. Next. Prachi, next.
Okay.
There are few pros and cons of the existing interface. So as we went through the interface, we believe that the essential features for navigation are already present in the taskbar, which is a good thing. Then there's a clear explanation of customers and leads. These are the pros. And coming to the cons, whose solutions we have provided further. The training section, we believe that instead of all the scheduled trainings, we can also have some recorded lectures, and the success stories of OneCoders can be presented in a better manner. So we have mentioned the solutions ahead. The pain points of customers, there are some technical and behavioral pain points. Moving to the technical ones, I think there is a data security issue that OneCoders need to ensure to the end customers. Then there is a live training, recorded training thing. All the trainings are live on OneCode. There should be some recorded trainings as well. There is no customer support at 9 p.m. So like we would encourage a 24/7 customer support, and the app is not on App Store. So iOS device users cannot access the OneCode app. Behavioral pain points would be that even after sending link to many customers, not all of them apply for credit card because there is an inherent mentality against credit cards in India, and many of the customers do not recognize a OneCode. Prachi, next. So this is the user journey. As a OneCoder goes to the homepage, they scroll the interface and they are excited about the earnings that they have to make, but they do not have any clue how to proceed. For that, we have a solution of app tour. Then they go to the training part. They look for the training videos, but there are no recorded videos. Then they go to the my customer tab and they add a customer, get a lead. They fill in the details by themselves, or they ask the final end customer to fill in the details. After the details are filled, the app shows a list of suggestions which the end customer is eligible for, and finally the one coder shares the link with the end customer. Let's see next. We are focusing on the credit card, so let's go to the credit card funnel. Ways to enter the funnel. One is through the homepage. The other is through the categories tab. After you press the categories tab, you go to recharges, credit card. From there, we can go to the credit card funnel. And next is the my customer tab. After going to my customer, we can add the credit card. Now this is the funnel. The one coder shares the link with the customer, and the application is started by the customer. The documents are uploaded, video KYC. Ultimately, it is approved or rejected by the bank. So as I told you earlier, we believe that 100 customers are getting the link, 50 of them are applying for the link, 5 are getting rejected, 5 are getting approved for the credit card. Highest drop off we see in the first 2 steps, and the intermediate steps cannot be tracked by one code.
So now moving on to the solutions, what we'll be doing is we'll focus the first solution to decrease the top of the funnel, that is to decrease number of frivolous steps, and then further other solutions would be focusing on to increase the bottom of the funnel, that is to increase the sales of credit card. Moving further, our first solution is to add a screening page into the funnel. What the screening page would do is allow the customers to enter their names, contact number, email ID, which is kind of a detail which will be required by the customer to fill out. Any frivolous customer, like any frivolous application or any frivolous links at this point will be eliminated by the screening page, because a person who is intended to fill a credit card will definitely be comfortable to share these details, but one who is not will skip from this step itself, and hence will be able to shut down the funnel, like will be able to you can say minimize the funnel at the top itself and give a proper estimate later on. Moving further, the second and very important one is the recorded video. Currently, OneCode does not have any recorded videos option on the app itself. It does have on the YouTube, although, but on the app, we would suggest to involve videos like app demo and how to sell credit cards, since credit card is a very difficult product to sell. So training is required beyond around it. So hence, how to sell a credit card, what is a credit card for a new user who has never sold a credit card, and whom to target and who should be target, or who are the target customers. Such videos should be included in the recorded sessions itself. Further, moving on, live sessions could be based on typical products like IDFC Bank or HDFC Bank credit cards. It could be like that. Then the app tour, what the app tour, we have redesigned a little bit in the app interface itself. Like the first one that we
Prachi and
mentioned.
Pratikta, 6 minutes are up. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, we'll wrap up in a while. So yeah, we have made an app tour, and we have improvised a little bit on the page on the app interface. What we have done is we have removed the live training session, since it is a scheduled one. So we have removed it completely, and we have added ID card, bonus, and leaderboard. We'll learn what these features are in upcoming slide. And the app tool, what it does is give the basic idea of the interface and directly guides the customer towards the credit card itself, so that they'll first and foremost thing what they'll do is open the credit card or any other high value product and see and explore it. Further, the next one is bonus. So what bonus would do is it would clearly state what is the goal of a particular person, in order to earn more payouts, what a particular person should do. And also it would you can say give a direction to the goal of business. Like if you want to sell more credit cards, you can give bonuses around credit card, like credit hat trick. In order to increase the loyalty of customers or appreciate the loyalty of customers, there's a bonus called You Are a Star Matrix. Obviously, both of them will have different terms and conditions. Next one is the leaderboard. So this leaderboard will add a little bit of fun and charm to the monotonous financial product sale process. It would motivate new as well as already existing users to participate more and sell higher value products and win these scratch cards or coupons. But we could have a particular set of points, like 4,000 points. After 4,000 points, a person would receive a scratch card, and then they'll win certain you can say gifts or any other rewards. Further, moving on, every month the toppers could receive different gifts or prizes. This one is specifically focused on to move the customers from credit card from the recharge funnel to the credit card funnel. So post every, you can say 10 or 15 recharges, there could be a pop-up screen on the recharge. After a particular successful recharge, there could be a pop-up on the screen which could directly give a CTA to move towards the credit card and explore there. And clearly mentioning this points, number of points, 500 points would be earned, would obviously motivate the user. So moving forward.
Nitish?
Hello, Prachi.
No, Pratiksha this side. Has Prachi has not lost her network or what?
Prachi, are you there?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Should I continue with
Pratiksha,
it?
can you continue?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Just a minute.
Yeah, Prachi is here.
I guess we lost it from here, so Pratiksha.
Prachi, I cannot see your screen, but I think I can start
Pratiksha,
from the. Prachi, can you hear me? Hello,
Hello,
everyone. Can you
Prachi.
hear me?
Yeah, Pratiksha, we can hear you. Prachi isn't
Okay.
audible.
Yeah. So, addressing the last part of the problem statement, we have divided the users into three different cohorts. That is of the new user, a user who is active for 6 months, and a churn user. So, for new user who is excited and who is undergoing training, doing his first sale, and exploring the app, a leaderboard is a solution which can keep him motivated. For a user who is active for 6 months, he is maybe busy and this job of one code has become a little monotonous. So to revive that energy, we can introduce a "You Are a Star" bonus that Prachi talked about earlier. For a churned user, we can introduce a send notification to them to claim a rejoining bonus kind of thing. So I think these are the solutions for different cohorts. Challenges in solution are regarding the budget and time constraint. So for both budget and time, we can prioritize the solutions which are most basic and which we think are best, and then we can rationalize the spending and parallelly work on other solutions. Additional solutions that we talk of is advertisement and marketing of one code, which will enable build trust in the end customers and which will make the job of one coders and the agents easy, since customers will trust one code. And next we suggest is 24/7 customer care support for agents through chatbot is present currently, but it is not a 24/7 service on the app. That's it, and thank you.
Archit, Abhilash, Lokesh.
Yeah. So one was on the leaderboard, right? So there was one question among like one metric that from recharge to credit card. I think that was not tackled or there are no solutions around it, Pratiksha.
Uh, so actually, there is a solution. I think it's solution number 5 or 6 that whenever a one coder does a particular number of recharges, he
Yeah,
can be sent a flashcard sort of thing that now you can move to credit card funnel and you can get some particular number of points after selling, which will be added on the leaderboard and which can rise you up through the leaderboard.
got it. So finally, on the last prioritization, which were the top two features that you were suggesting?
We were suggesting first one is the recorded video, the
Okay.
bonus one, the two different kind of bonus, and app tour.
Okay, app tour and the okay, the bonus, which is a mixture of the leaderboard and
Yeah.
okay, okay,
And the recorded videos.
got it. But
Har-
not clear, like how would this complete the fulfillment? Like basically, one major problem is clearly on the conversion of credit cards, right? None of the top three would aid me in conversion of credit card right away. Right? It's more of a leaderboard will give me more engagement, and app tour will give me more learning of the app. But I also understand that on the credit card journey, you suggested that there should be app tour which clearly lands to the credit card page. But
Yeah.
again, top of the funnel is not the main priority to solve, right? So
Right. So in the leaderboard, it is converting into credit cards because maximum points should be given to the credit card selling feature.
okay,
The recharge and other features will have like 20, 30 points. The credit card one can have 400, 300 points.
okay.
Yeah, Pratiksha. So one question from my side here is, you were talking about introducing a screening page once the link is shared and the customer first clicks on the link, right?
Yes.
And you were proposing this solution as a means to increase the conversion. So maybe look at the conversions in a better manner.
Mhm.
But how exactly introducing this page will give us an advantage in that in improving the conversion for the credit cards in actual numbers?
Okay, so first thing is adding the screening page will require the end customer to enter his details. If there are frivolous applications, they would get rejected. First thing. So we will have a better track of who is then going to the application page. Like we first saw that the link is being sent to 100 customers and only 50 of them are reaching to the application phase. So those 100 are not our actual customers actually. Those 50 are is where the funnel actually starts. So if we add the screening page, we can keep a track of that 50.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
only, like, I think, wow, Archit, sorry to interrupt, Archit,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can Abhilash maybe. So let's say 100 customers are entering the flow, right?
Yeah.
And 50 of them are actually starting, and five are getting the credit card as per your assumption. By
Yes.
introducing the screening page, you would get to know that actually we this number of 100 we bring it down to the actual customers who are really interested into the product, right? And
Yes.
eliminate all the frivolous links.
Yes.
But the
Maybe.
final number of five will still remain there. It won't help in increasing the number five that you have there for card approval.
Yes, so the solution of the screening page is only concept focused on reducing the top frivolous customers. For example, the screening page will be accessed by only 80 customers. Like currently we have 100 top customers, we will have 80. So that solution is for this bringing it down to 80, and for improving the bottom of the funnel, like from 5 customers to maybe 20 or 25, we have other 4 solutions.
Okay.
Like advertisement or other things for one code, which we talked about. Building trust with the end customer.
Okay. Anything else, Lokesh, Abhilash, or maybe should we move on?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pratiksha and Raj.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Pratiksha and Prachi.
Thank you.
Rachit and Shruti, you are on stage. I
Yeah,
request you to switch on your cams.
yeah,
Folks,
sure.
if you are connection is stable, I request you to switch on your cams.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, we could hear you.
Okay, so shall we start?
Archit and Abhilash, can you folks switch on your cams?
Audible. Let's start. Earn with your mind and not with your time. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kanak Dubey, a student of IIT Mandi.
And I'm Rachit Goel, pre-final student here at IIT Madras.
Today, we'll be presenting our product teardown for OneCode. So, what exactly is OneCode? OneCode is a platform which connects new age digital first brands with relevant sellers to sell their products and services to trust deficit less tech savvy users by building trust through assisted sales and support. In the problem statement, we were given the task to design a mechanism to increase the number of credit cards sold to 3 times in 2 months, move at least 25% users from recharges to the credit card funnel, and identify multiple cohorts of users and drive changes according to each funnel, leading to a weighted average improvement of 25% in the retention ratio. Next slide. While approaching the problem statement, we ourselves went through a lot of users and the application as well. The users of the application mostly fall in the age group of 22 to 35. We have classified the users as follows. Arvind is a small business owner in his early 30s, has a decent network and good marketing skills. He has a monthly profit of around 60 to 70,000 and mostly uses a smartphone. Sonu is a YouTuber having less than 100,000 subscribers. He has a strong fan base and persuasion ability. Sonu earns a monthly profit of around 40 to 50,000 and actively uses his phone and laptop. Vinod is a freelancer. He gets works in odd parts of the year and he wants to improve his earnings. So the major pain points which we could analyze were firstly payments not on time. A significant percentage of users complained that they didn't receive the promised amount of money in their bank accounts on time. They were unable to track leads, which was another issue. There was a lack of trust. Many users were hesitant in using the application since it directly involved money, so they were afraid if this would be some kind of trap. Unidentified potential customers. Some users complained that even though they were eligible for availing credit card services, they were denied for the same in the application. Technical issues mainly included inability to open the app with ease by the users and delayed upgradation of leads on the interface. End customers' pain points include lack of knowledge of the usage of credit cards. Being unaware of the idea leads to less number of agents switching from the recharge to the credit card funnel and even less number of users who actually buy the credit card. Handing over to Rachit.
Hello. Can someone confirm, is my screen visible? I mean, is there any network issue?
The screen is not visible, Rachit.
You're audible, Rachit, but your screen is not visible.
Hello.
There's some network issue from his end.
Rachit, are you there?
Till then, I guess I can continue in case of
Kanak, can you continue?
Is my screen visible now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Have you heard Kanak till last, or did she also loses her network in between?
No, no, she presented. She handed it over to you. You can continue.
Okay, sure, sure. So keeping into mind the pain points listed by Kanak, we have improvised the existing user journey. So just after the top funnel, that is when users enters the app for the first time, he should be shown a video which persuades the user to believe that he can earn up to 50,000 using one code. Once the faith is established, the user might not hesitate in verifying and uploading the KYC documents. Currently, live sessions are provided which might or might not align with user schedule and are not available for any time viewing. Another issue we encountered was that after enrolling into a session, the users receives a call 10 minutes prior to the session as a reminder. But the link for the session is not easily accessible. The link should be easily available along with the reminder itself. So another point to be considered is that the agent should be provided with a video of one code team explaining the complete process so that he can share it with the end user for better understanding. Right now it is not there. Now here are some of our proposed solutions. Through our market research, we came to conclusion that most of the people are unaware that they can earn through one code. To cater this, we target the small or medium shop owners who sell small electronic accessories like let's say smartphones, earphones, chargers, etc., and also do recharges for earning. So one code team can personally visit these owners and persuade them to use one code in the way like UPI payment companies visit shop to shop for their acquisition, right? So in that same way, so this will help build up trust and increase retention as well as conversion rate. So we also have improved some parts in the user experience. As below the credit card, it is mentioned to earn 400 per sale. But after exploring, IndusInd Bank offers 3,000 per sale. So 3,000 should be shown instead of 400. This can somewhat contribute towards moving users from recharges to credit card funnel. Also, after clicking on recharge, this empty space comes on the screen. Here, we can market for higher incentive in credit card. This will improve the success metrics of moving 25% from recharges to credit card funnel. Our next suggestion is to associate with the top banks of the country because most of the end customers to whom our agents will approach are associated with these three banks. So this will increase the metrics of conversion of end customer and will also make the lead significant. So this amounts to solve our success metrics and increase the number of credit cards sold.
Rachit,
Now,
you have crossed 6 minutes.
okay, sure. We observe that people spend respectable amount of time in restaurant once they visit. So restaurant owner who can be our potential agent too has much time to explain about the scheme. So tying up with restaurants and making restaurant owner our agent can be the turning point. Also displaying logos and themes of OneCode on the walls of restaurant will increase the reach of OneCode by significant number. So in this way, we can have higher lead conversions and increases the number of credit cards sold to 3x in 2 months. So at the end, we have prioritized all the above solutions and pain points using RISE framework. So on priority, our company should check whether existing users get their payments on time or not. Then add video for agents to share with end customers. And next we go with association with banks and one-on-one pitch to potential shop owners in at least as it requires significant amount of time. That's why it is at last. So that's all from our side. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachit and Kanak. Interesting presentation. Some of the good points that you highlighted, I think you explored some of the sections of the app. That's good. Uh, I'll quickly touch upon one of the interesting ones that you suggested in the end, that restaurant could be a good place where we can probably reach out to customers, right? So first of all, how did you identify or how did you conclude that out of all the businesses that there are, out of all the places that there are, restaurant could be the one?
Because in restaurant people frequently visit, right? People frequently visit the restaurants and restaurant owner build a significant amount of relationship between with them.
Okay, so that's your assumption, like given all the online food delivery options and everything. First of all, I don't think frequent visits are those that frequent anymore. Second of all, how would you yourself want to be contacted for buying a credit card while you are sitting at the restaurants and eating food?
Obviously,
Like, have you
obviously
thought
not. I
about?
won't be. Uh, yeah, Kanak want to.
just because firstly, people visit restaurants on a daily basis, like the frequency is more. So first of all, credibility we can ensure. If the restaurant owner pitches something, there's credibility that yes, this is something trustable. Second thing, we can tie up with, since we mentioned tie up with restaurants, so what will restaurant owners do? They will introduce some kind of schemes. For example, if you visit 5 times a week, so we'll be giving such kind of discounts, and in addition to that, you can use this credit card for that. So both the things can be tied up together, and it can be beneficial for the company as well as the restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah, I think interesting point that Chit brought. So even I was curious about the same, like why a restaurant? That was going to be my first question. So I think restaurant is probably some place where I would be least expecting something like this. Like I'm going for a dinner and somebody giving me a pitch about this credit card or then like apply. I was just curious, like why not mention all these e-mitra counters and all those small shop owners.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, but uh,
No, actually, even we thought of all this that people want a quality time in restaurants, right? They are with their families and friends. So we won't be pitching all throughout. What we will be doing is there's a time when people go to the counters for paying their bills, right? So at that time, the owner can introduce schemes. Like whenever we go to malls, we go to shops, owners do introduce schemes, right? That if you take this particular credit card, so afterwards we'll be introducing some kind of scheme that you are a frequent customers. So you come to our restaurants, you visit our shop, so there will be a discount on the restaurant as well. And if you buy this credit card, you can pay via that credit card. Even that scheme we can introduce. So that was the reason we use restaurants, because people, if they like some kind of food, they visit that restaurant on and on. So that was the reason.
thank you.
And even we can add Zomato to that.
Cool, Kanak. Lokesh, Archit, Abhilash, do you want to expand on anything? Do you want them to expand on anything?
So on the I think expectations part, right? You mentioned a lot of people don't even know that they could earn a one code. And one of the suggestions, like even people join, you mentioned like in the app we should show how they can earn 50,000 or whatever. Like, do you have any other suggestions on that or ideas to solve that
Yeah,
problem other than video?
that point, like Rachit, I think mentioned in the slides. Firstly, what happened is we when we were exploring the app, we found out that initially there was some less amount mentioned, and while after clicking that option, we found out that they can earn even more. So, according to the user interface and user experience, why to mention less? Like if we can incentivize more and if we are providing more services, why are we mentioning the lesser amount? And that was the reason we added that point.
Got it. So it's more like a mistake on the existing feature. You're saying like the number could be better.
It's not a mistake. Maybe some technicality would have been involved there. But as a user, like we were also using the app and we were exploring. So we couldn't find out like what was the reason behind mentioning the lower amount and not the amount which people can really earn if they can earn more.
Do you remember what was the amount and how did you know like users could earn more than that?
I think we've mentioned that in our slides. If Rachit
It's
could
okay.
present, because
It's
I'm unable to present.
yes.
Okay, I'll just check it in my slide once. Uh, that user experience one. Yeah, it was something like cash awards up to 400 per sale, 4,000 per sale maybe, 400, and but it was actually 3,000 after going on that option.
Okay, got it. Thank you. By the way, there was one really good observation on big banks, big partners like HDFC, SBI, and that's something we are already planning. So good job there.
Since my network is lost, I'm joined from Kanak's phone itself. So I would like to mention that actually below the credit card, you have written earn up to 400 per sale. But after clicking on that option, I can find that Indocent Land is offering 3000 per sale. Right. So why not to mention in the starting itself that 3000 per sale so that the recharges user can get more attracted towards it, since our target success matrix is to shift the recharges user to credit card funnel, right? So I think that may not be a turning point, but that can help in, let's say, some amount of acquisition for credit card.
Perfect.
And really sorry for the network issues and all. It's really not in our hand.
Yeah, Archit. Cool. Great presentation.
Yeah.
Lokesh, can we move ahead? Like, do you have any other queries?
No, yeah, we could move it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachit. Thank you, Kanak.
Thank you. Thank you.
Saurav and team, can you raise your hands? Saurav?
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Hello panel, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can. There's a bit of noise.
Oh sure, I'll just.
Or you can speak now. Maybe the voice was lower.
Sure, sure. I think Varsha
They're
will
still
start.
connecting.
Yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
Yeah, is my screen visible? Hello?
Not yet, Varsha. Yeah, it's visible now, Varsha.
Yeah.
Can you just put it on slideshare now?
Yeah,
Sure.
good evening, everyone. So this is Varsha, and my teammate is Saurav, and we are glad to be, presenting our solution to OneCoding. And thank you for the opportunity. So, just how the flow of the presentation is going to be. We are just no, we identify the major pain points in the actual user journey, and then we'll talk in depth about the solution and the prioritization and the success metrics. So, just a brief about the OneCode. It is a network of direct selling agents where where it caters to the tier two and the tier three cities, and it connects the platform connects the financial companies with the sales agents to bridge the buyer or the customer, the buyer and the brand gap in the financial sector. So from the agents, the users of the OneCode app is the agent, the actual selling agent, and the agents can use their network to sell the best financial recommended financial product in their recommended network and earn more commission. So from the problem statement, we have made the following assumptions, like the agents get demotivated by the rejected leads because they are not able to target the best customers, so that it might that might cause the less retention or the non causing the non-recurring users. And the agents are unaware of the credit score or the credit score of the actual customers, and there is a high friction in understanding the application process of the leads. So the user personas we have based on the Slack AMA. Rajesh, who is a insurance agent, and he understands the process of the credit card sale, but he is unable to understand the
tech platform from the platform, and the other differentiate, no, he would be accustomed to only selling certain types of financial products, but he should be able, he should be able to made understand the other financial products, as well as the distinction between the products. And Kavita, who is a housewife, she is no she is she's not employed, so her goal would be to earn more money, and her challenges would be to understanding the platform as well, and as well as the credit card process, since she's not accustomed to the process. And Ajay, who's a student who wants to earn extra monthly spend. So his it would be, his thing would be to understand the more credit card process in general. So from the overall agent journey, so we identify the four problems, like not adequate sales training is available, no recorded videos are available, only the webinars are available, and the friction in adding the customer details. So we are losing the customers, like from the top of the funnel to the conversion. So we could enable it through the autofill features, and asking the agents to nudge the customers once the application, once you have sent the link. So the notification should be enabled from in the agent side as well as the customers, and helping the agents to identify the correct customers, like based on the credit quality. If you could connect it to the third party credit score databases, and then based on the customer database that the agent has in their network. So based on that, they could be made given no best customers for the best products and the appropriate products. And once the application has started, they should be given only the credit eligible. The agents do not have the credit eligible leads in their context, so we might be able to use that mutual from we can share the lead from one agent to the other, in case if there is any, the other agent can follow up on the leads. And so the enhancement recommendations are on the agent training and the customer and the credits. So on the agent training perspective, so agent is not aware of the difference or features of the different financial products. So this could be enabled by adding a video recording of no, explaining the overall the financial products available within OneCode, and adding the snippets of disadvantages of one, what is the advantage of one credit card over the other, or one financial product over the other. So, and the agents do not get the sales pitch training, so the practice session, so they should be they could be made available using the networks, like the we have the affiliate marketing within our OneCode app, so we can leverage that, like Saurav has recommended me, and I am a part of an agent, I am an agent, so I could learn few tricks, or say I could try my sales pitch to Saurav, and then learn more tricks from him. So that is one of the solutions. And so on the customer and the credit perspective, so importing the contacts from the customer list instead of asking the customers to add the details manually, and identifying the correct customers for the financial products, and as well as to unfulfilled, importing the unfulfilled leads from one agent network to the other. So these are our solutions. And so in order to increase the conversion, so we have identified the three major points. So increasing the number of applications, application fill rate, and increasing the credit quality of the applications. So in order to increase the number of applications, like incentivize the agents to incentivizing the agents, and improvising the training programs by adding more gamified features, and tapping into new personas like housewives. And since we are targeting the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, so some localization, and the tech should be made, the journey should be made easy, and the housewives would be the major target in this area. And in order to increase the application fill rate, so interesting subject lines could be added, like instead of question, we can make a statement, and prompting this once the application hasn't been, like you sent an application link and the application hasn't been started, so we can follow, the agents can follow up, nudging the agents to follow up, and also notifying the customers on the SMS, like the continuous notifications till that 30 days of time. till the duration. And utilize, when the application starts again, like starts by the lead again, so we could use the autofill option to enter the details as well as the documents. And in order to increase the credit quality of the applications, the civil scores could be taken from the other previous leads, and then we could also get it from the databases, and then targeting higher credit quality networks through the agent personas, like focusing on urban housewives would give us better customers for the credit cards, and good customer. Yeah, that's it. And Saurabh will take over.
Varsha, you across 6 minutes.
Oh.
And Saurav is not able to connect, I guess. If you can wrap up, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So on the increasing number of applications, so the first thing is like engaging the agents. So the problem is like only 14% sell the credit cards. So we can cross sell from the recharges to the credit cards. So we can add banners or ads to nudge the recharges to the credit card users. And then utilizing the network and the approval probability score, adding a credit card, like once the customer is added, like how like is there, like what is the probability of him converting into a fulfill converting into the fulfilled lead. So that is one thing. And so on the following up through the agent, so sending out notifications throughout, and agents forwarding the leads to once if an agent couldn't make a sale through a particular lead, the other can take the other this lead could be given to the other agent using the mutual network. And so easier application process is that, like adding
Hello, Varsha.
yeah, sure.
Sure. So yeah, I was just going through this section.
So
Saurav, you there?
Saurav? Varsha, Saurav is facing issue with the connection, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
If you can wrap up.
Yeah, sure. So sending the message or messages in forms of statements instead of question, like so that was one thing. And then the auto filling the details of the customers when they are filling out the form again, so making it easier for the users to fill the documents. And so in the increasing credit quality of the applications, in order to engage the agents, like there are multiple credit cards available within OneCode, so we could give them a general overview of, like this type of credit cards focus on this credit scores and credit scores. And so we could target these kind of people, and categorization and grouping of grouping would make it easier for the agents to understand. And as in the background scanner, so using the decline information of the leads, we could appropriately suggest other products based on the credit scores, like based on certain criteria that the data we have got from the declined leads, so that we won't lose the customers as well. And suggesting the leads to the contact list, matching based on the phone number and the contact name we have. So we could based on the phone number, we can try to understand the credit score of the particular person, and then add it add the probability of whether they could be high probability of conversion, or low or medium probability of conversion. And the metrics would be the leads auto generated and the agent's second credit sale rate. And so in order to increase the credit quality of the applications and in engaging the agents, so as of now the application stage is available only in the filter, so it could be made available in the once they open the lead sheet, they could be made available, like approval chances are medium. So okay, then you could the agent could focus on the high approval chances of conversion. So if there is any blocker, they could prioritize which users they could focus on. And the status could also be applied in the UI itself. And on the prioritization, so we have three problems: low application fill rate, and low credit quality applications. So in the and all these things, like the solutions we are suggesting is that convert peer-to-peer sales pitch training platform in uh, is one of our suggestions in the low application rates. So and targeting urban housewives and adding approval probability score and converting the recharge funnel. And in the low application fill rate, like auto filling the details would enhance the the customers filling out the details. And the low credit quality applications, we could make the agent aware of whether the what is the probability of that customer getting converted, and the credit score matching with having that credit score of the particular lead we have, and suggesting the particular products based on that. And these are the success metrics we have currently. The referral quotient, so 100 agents refers 20, and then 10 make a credit card sale. So this would be like only 0.1 would be our referral quotient. And recurring sales quotient, 100 users sold a credit card, 25 made the second sale, and the recurring would be like
Varsha,
0.
can you wrap up?
Yeah, sure. These are the success metrics, and we are open to take up any questions. And the challenges would be obtaining the credit scores from the third parties, and the user consent of saving their data, and targeting the new personas in the tier 2 and tier 3, and peer-to-peer technical cost in peer-to-peer sales pitch platform.
Uh, Hi,
Hi.
hi, Varsha.
Yeah.
So basically, I was on until the last presentation. I used to, I can see how each of this was triangulated to the problem or the metric that we were looking, right? And on the initiatives part, if you can share the sheet, or I can see it here, like initiatives, I'm like converting recharge funnel is an initiative. It's not an initiative, right? It's just a like what exactly I'm unable to understand. And targeting urban housewife, like there are two things: why urban housewife, and we know we have to target, but how is the question, right? So not clear on those on the initiatives part.
Okay. Why we should target urban housewives is that the tier 2 and tier 3 are not are less tech savvy people, and the housewives are mostly they would be educated, and they wouldn't be able to work like in the tier 2 and tier 3, like due to the family constraints. So they would want to increase their revenue, so they could be targeted. So they would be they would be motivated to do all these things, and they would have a lot of network, like they would interact with many people, like many women in their network, so that would increase increase the conversion rate.
No, that kind of like let me uh, uh, okay, then how to do it is also not that clear. Basically, if you're asking us to just go and talk to housewife, that's not a scalable solution. Maybe we can do some advertisement or all like that. That can be a solution there. We can, let's do an advertisement or some kind of thing. Like just targeting, I'm not clear. Again, second, like where you're again suggesting to do a credit score check and show show the probability score. Do you think the housewife network, assuming it's another housewife, will have a credit score? And how difficult or easy will it be to teach a finance product in the, assuming it's a tier 2 or a tier 3 market? So like can you elaborate on that? Because
So
it is all connected, right? Because let me, I target housewife and then I show a probability score. You asked me like we should check a credit score is what I'm trying to triangulate this whole initiative.
okay. The no the We could, based on the phone numbers, like the only the women are not going to apply for the credit cards, so it could be any member in their family, like like they are the ones making the decision, but it could be any member in their family who has a credit history. So based on that, like we could target them through women's. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. uh, and also on the last screen, like on the success metric, we, as per, there are no initiatives that is actually targeting the referral thing, right? But there is a success metric of referral quotient. uh, how can you like justify that?
Yeah, we have a peer-to-peer network engaging initiative. So within which, so if uh, like to create authenticity of the app, so the agent, like the trust is created through referring the other, through the reference, and so when the agent who I
That
referred
will happen,
faces a
like
difficult.
that's a metric to measure. But what I'm assuming is that if you put in a success metric, this success metrics will be driven by the initiatives that are given above, right? So I don't see how any of the initiative will increase the referral, referral number. If it's an overall dump of all the metrics that we need to track, then it's fair. But if it is triangulated to any of the initiatives that you have mentioned above, that is not being cleared, given
We
that it's
have okay, so we have a peer-to-peer network platform, like we could create a page for that, so that so whoever referred me or the one who referred the other person, like the one who's above me, they could all be in a form in a connected network, so that whenever I face an issue with selling a credit card or making a sale pitch, I could get guidance from the experts from within the one code. So that is what that is how.
okay. Okay, but that is not the initiative that you mentioned, right? Like we need to create a referral page or something.
That was in the peer-to-peer network collaboration was one thing mentioned.
Okay, that's a more of an engagement. Okay, uh, okay, I understand it a bit now. Archit.
Avilash, can you hear me? Sorry, I have been facing network issues. So, on your first question, right, as you were mentioning, whether we have metrics associated with each initiatives or not in the deck, like Varsha, if you can pull up the deck, on each deck we have mentioned how we are correlating it to the referral quotient
Archit and
or
Lokesh,
not.
do you
Like
have
for
anything to ask?
so, can you hear me, Avilash?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Yeah. So
I
I'm just
have,
answering your previous questions.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Varsha, if you go on top of it, like on our problems page, so for each here we have mentioned what metrics will be tracking for every initiatives over here, right?
yeah.
So let's say, for example, over here we see the average application fill rate, unfulfilled leads per active agent, and so forth. Okay, so the referral quotient is a very good metric for measuring for the urban housewives. Okay. Next, coming to your question, like how we are targeting the urban housewives, I think it will be more of a direct marketing in the first place. In the first place, like Amway does it, right? First of all, you just put hoardings, posters, etc. in urban cities targeting housewives. Over there, you start off, and because the referral quotient would be very higher, automatically, organically, it
Varsha, are
will
you there?
Yeah.
grow over there.
Okay, okay. I have
Yeah.
gone through the slide. I don't see any slide with direct referral metric, but I get your point. But that's not
Yes.
the initiative that is mentioned. So I can't directly relate it. Is what I'm trying to say. That's
Okay,
a
okay, sure.
yeah.
Sure. So like for example, here reaching out to the housewives in urban cities. Here we are talking about like using referral quotient as a metric, specifically for this initiative.
That's a secondary outcome, right? Like with the reaching, you can say we can see a diversity in the demographic users that you have, but you can't say referral program will increase right away in the
Yeah. So our assumption is that if we are targeting this user base, like through direct marketing, our RQ will be
yeah, yeah.
high.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Sure. 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 Any other question that you had?
Yeah. So,
Sorry, I missed it.
no worries. One of the questions that I have is, so you like broke up the entire problem into three sub problems, and the second bucket that you had is low application fill rate, right? And
Yep.
one of the like solutions that you prioritized there was auto filling the application form.
Yep.
But how do you exactly propose to do this? Because
Sure.
if you had gone through the journey of sharing a lead, you would have
Sure.
identified that the final links that are shared with the customer are
Sure.
actually the links provided by the brand, right?
Sure.
And on that
Yeah.
journey, the one code does not have any control or like ownership of the journey on that page, right? So it's not
Sure.
technically possible to do that. So have you thought about how do you plan to do that?
Sure, sure. Archit, so we don't plan that will be autofilling throughout the whole journey itself, but in the initial steps, okay, where it lands on the one code page, on the web page itself, over there, like let's say the customer X has been targeted by two agents, right? So while he is filling up the form for the first agent, we save his data, and in the second time, when we are taking his income details and so forth, right? At least if we are able to improve over there, we have a rough estimate that 30% improvement will be there in that application process. So we are not saying that we'll be able to solve throughout the 100% of journey, but at least in the first two steps we'll be able to alleviate the problem, right? Many of we are targeting tier 2, tier 3
But again,
cities who are not.
if you had tried to use that link, you would identify that if one of the customer has already completed that part of the application, which is at the one code side, and if that customer goes to the link again, maybe for that user or maybe for some other user, the customer would not be required to fill another
Yeah,
application form.
yeah.
So
So
I'm
here,
not sure if
there,
this
yeah, yeah,
problem actually
yeah.
exists.
Sure. So here we had the assumption that it is for like cross agent functionality, not for the same agent. We had
Even for
assumed
the
that if
cross agent, if it's the
okay,
same customer, they would not be required to fill the form again.
sure. We didn't have an idea of that, but it's a great insight. That obviously solves the problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything from you, Lokesh?
Yeah, just one question. So I think there was 4 or 5 places where we mentioned agents training. And the videos was one thing, and gamification was one thing. I'm not sure if we discussed gamification a bit, but were there any other things? I'm not sure. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Sorry, can you please repeat,
So
Lokesh?
agents training.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? Like I think you mentioned it 4 or 5 places.
Yeah, sure.
We already have videos. The other thing you mentioned is gamification.
Exactly.
Do you mind elaborating a bit more on that?
Sure. Varsha, can you please go to
And
this slide?
also, was there anything else other than these two?
Sure. Just slide before this, Varsha, on the user flow. Yep. Over here, right? So here on the training, on the previous slide we had highlighted, over here on the training we see that when he is coming, right, he is presented with a plethora of information, etc. Right? And talking from an agent perspective, like he has so many options. How does he choose, right? So one of the thing is like what we mentioned was like, let's say he has already sold a car. Now to make it more relatable, we can make snippets. What's the difference of this card as compared to that? So it will be easier for him to process the information, not just in a video format. We can do it in a snippet format, right? And the video section was to describe, like let's say for credit card, how is it different from loan products and so forth. Okay, which makes him understand how beneficial it is. Right? He should be able to understand how it is different from a secured loan. And the second thing which we mentioned was in terms of sales pitch training program. We obviously get it's not possible for us to integrate it one end to end, but we can do it on a peer to peer basis. So, like let's say for case presentations, there are various platforms where you can connect, collaborate with other people who are prepping up. So, similarly over here also, your ability to sell a card depends on how well you can persuade the end customer. Right? So that persuasion ability comes from making more sales pitches. That's why we had proposed this idea over here on the training program. Now going to the agent journey, here we mentioned two things. First is like he will not be able to identify who are the great worthy consumers in his contact list. So from here we mentioned that let's say for every phone number, if you have a civil score mapped somehow, either from a third party vendor or from our own internal accepted or declined application statuses, we can tell him that okay, try out Saurav. He is a good customer. If you make a sale, there is a high probability of making that sale. Also in the sense that let's say from your network agent, let's say Varsha had recommended me one code, okay, and now Varsha has gone inactive, but she was in contact with few leads who have not completed the process but are very good credit worthy consumers. Those people can be referred to me. Okay, so it can be a second chain. Over here we'll need to identify how we want to divide the commissions. We can give 20% to Varsha, 80 to me, and so forth. So these two were the main objectives, like key journey points where we had proposed few solutions. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good. There are a few really good points over there. I like the idea of the pitch practice, and also like the first one that you said, basically more like a personalization, where if we can show him some contextual data that we have already sold this car and this is kind of similar to that. Uh,
Exactly.
the bigger bucket is kind of personalization. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Abhilash, Archit, Lokesh, do you have any other queries, or this is it?
Good.
Cool.
Thank you, Varsha. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Abhilash, you're on mute, I think so.
Okay, I just mentioned none here.
Cool. Maybe Archit, Lokesh, Abhilash, if y'all can maybe just switch off your video audio, maybe get on a call and just let us know about the results. Cool. So while the judges actually, Nitish, can you remove the participants?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So while the judges come back with the results for today's event, first of all, thank you everybody for taking out the time to actually come and watch the product teardown. Hope you all could learn a lot and have a few takeaways from the session. We definitely did. In terms of next steps, you can definitely visit the Product Folks website. We have all the earlier teardowns details, the decks from those teardowns. You'll also get to see the YouTube recording and the decks of the finalists of this teardown itself on our website. So whoever's looking to participate in future teardowns, this is definitely a great starting point. Apart from that, you can also check out the website for a lot of other things that we do at the Product Folks. We have in Sergio, we've just recently released a report on the PM salary report. We'll also keep you posted on next month's teardown. We're just finalizing with the partner, but we should get back in say the next couple of days. So you can check out our website. You can check out our Slack channel for next month's teardown as well. And if any of you have any questions, feel free to put it up in the Q&A right now. Anything from the Product Folks or anything even from people from OneCode, if there are specific questions from today's teardown that you might want answered, feel free to put them up in the chat and we'll get them answered as well.
Today, like most of the teams faced issue with uh, network. Who do you think would be the winner? Folks, if you have any guesses, you can comment in the box while the judges decide on the winners. If you have anything in particular that you like from one of the decks, from one of the any of the teams, you can specify that in the comments.
Nitesh, you're on mute.
Varsha and Saurav, are you there? Varsha, if you can share your journey through the Teardown month, how you approached the problem and how you presented and what were the challenges you faced, that would be beneficial for other participants that in the coming months that would participate.
Hi, am I audible? Hello? 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 Am I audible, Nitish?
Yeah, Varsha, you can if you can share your experience throughout the month, how you approach the problem and what were the challenges you faced, that might help other participants and like in the coming months who would be interested in participating the Teardown.
Yeah, sure. So this was my no, first case competition that I'm participating in. So I was kind of frightened at the beginning, but when I found a partner, no, Saurabh, we started discussing and we started coming up with more ideas on, and we so that portion was really interesting. So we were able to identify the problem, and we had few struggles with our work as well as and our health. So that was something uh, you know we couldn't complete it on time, but the overall we had an immense amount of learning, and we were able to get a grasp on what the domain is about and what the product is about. And from our perspective, what are the improvements that we can make based on the problems that we have identified in the user journey. So that is how we thought of. That's it
Yeah,
from me.
Varsha, great. How did you come to know about the community?
So someone referred it to me. One of my colleagues referred it to me, so I was looking for teardowns. So each month it would be
Yeah,
some at the end of the day. So just this month I got lucky. I got to see participate in this.
cool. Your teammate is, how do you know your teammate?
Through the community, we started interacting based on this competition. Yeah. So
Okay,
we
so
are
you,
from different,
yeah,
entirely different backgrounds. Like I am from marketing, competitor research, and those kind of background, and he is from metrics background. So,
great. So you came to know through the community that you didn't know before. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
Varsha.
was actually great. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you for the opportunity.
yeah. Thank you, Varsha. If any other participants want to share anything, I can add you on stage. Folks, who do you think would be the winner? Comment. Folks, if you had missed Inshajo last time, keep tabs on our socials and website. You might have a announcement in coming weeks, and we do come up with new initiatives every week. So please check on the Twitter, LinkedIn. If you can have a look. If you're new to product, and if you want to break into product, we have started a new series, a new season of it, breaking into product. You can check where product leaders from various startups come and share their experience, how they broke into product, and how you can uh, plan your journey. I've shared the link to the Teardown decks of the previous product Teardown sessions. If you need any idea how to go about and how to approach problems, you can check those. I've already pinned it in the box. Yeah, Pratiksha.
Nitesh, can you hear me? Nitesh?
We can hear you.
I was just asking the total number of submissions which were made this month for the product teardown, if you can tell.
Yeah,
We had quite a few entries. So I think let maybe if the one code folks want to share, maybe they can share the number. But
Okay.
Pratiksha, how was your experience?
Great. I think it was very insightful, and this was my first teardown. So yes, this was my first experience and a very good one, I would say. A lot of research and a lot of things I got to know. So yeah, great.
So you met your teammate through college or through
Yeah, she is
colleague?
actually she was my college mate.
Okay, great. So you know each other better.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Pratiksha.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey everyone.
Hi, Lokesh. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure how much time we had. I hope it didn't take longer.
No, yeah.
So yeah, I think first of all, it was all great presentations. A lot of learnings from. I think one of the reasons we took longer is it was a not an easy discussion for us also. I think every presenter had some really good learnings, findings, and but yeah, we had to pick top 3 out of 5. So, and we had to rank them, which was again not easy. But the final ranking that we have is
Lokesh, before you announce the winners, can you elaborate more on how you deduced to 5 finalists and
yeah,
then to 3?
definitely. Yeah,
What was
that's
the
a good.
approach and what were the attributes you were looking for?
Yeah, sure. So for us, I think we were purely going based on the findings that presenters had. Their how, like, I think pretty much everyone did good job at understanding the problem statement, what needs to be done. There were one or two groups who were kind of standing out, but as we said, like, the focus was mostly on the solution space, and we were just clearly going by the solutions presented by all these participants, like what solutions they have given to problems and how useful we think those solutions are, or something that was also, like, how unique or how different it is than something we are already doing. So those were, I think, few criterias that we kept in mind for shortlisting top 3. And once we had our top 3, for ranking we included few other factors, like, were presenters able to clearly communicate what they wanted to communicate, right? Was it coming, had did they think enough on that before presenting that? Did they have deep understanding into what they were saying? So there were a few factors that we added. It's morely, you could say, like, how easily it was coming to us, and I think then we ranked those 3 short lists that we had. And yeah, I think Archit, Abhilash, you want to add anything on this?
Yeah, it pretty much it. And like, we also emphasize more initially on like identification of the problems, right? Given the metrics, like what minimal problems, like what are the 1-2 problems and how are they double downing it, and how their solutions actually triangulate back to the problem, and how the metric will be moved, and how we have learned from them. So as Lokesh already summarized it well.
Yeah, Abhilash. Yeah, Lokesh.
Perfect. So I could probably start with the third.
Team, yeah.
Yeah. So the third team is team number 4. I think Rachit Goyal and Shruti Jain.
Rachit, congrats. Rachit and Shruti.
Okay, I'll go ahead with
Yeah.
Abhilash. You saying something?
No, I was just congratulating the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachit and Shruti, are you there?
Congratulations. Anyway, so do you want me to wait or announce the
No,
second?
let's go ahead.
Okay. So the team that stands second is team number 1. Not sure. I forgot to note down the names for team number 1.
Ameya and Nipur, that is.
Yeah.
Congratulations, team 1.
Ameya, are you there?
I'll also ping it just in case people. Shall I go ahead and announce team, which is on
Let's
the.
hear it from Ameya.
Ade, okay.
Hello
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you for presenting.
Congratulations, Samaya.
Thank you so much.
We really liked your sessions on chatbot, AI, progress bar, a lot of good sessions.
Thank you so much.
Okay, finally, team
The winners.
winners. Yes. So it's team number 5. Congratulations, team 5.
Saurav and Varsha, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Saurav and Varsha.
Congrats, Saurav and Varsha.
Yeah, we really liked the way, like, initially, as Saurav also mentioned when we were having the Q&A, that how he has used which metric would be moved by this of the initiatives and overall presentation, and the journey mapping that he has done on where all touch points would be helpful. So yeah, a lot of initiatives at the end which we will which we'll definitely be discussing when we head back to office on Monday.
And also like the agents training part, there were some ideas really good. Pitch practice, contextual training or personalized training, whatever you call it. I think thank you, team 5, and congratulations to team 2 and team 3 also, because again, as I said, it was really really close discussions. There's nothing like we could filter out easily. So there are some great findings over there as well, and thank you everyone. We really enjoyed this.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Lokesh, Archit, Abhilash. It was great having all of you
Congrats,
on the
Varsha
call.
and team. Congrats all the participants.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank, thank you, Lokesh, Archit, and Abhilash.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.